like you doing rattling around this big house?
Well, I assure you, I'm married to a man, a human one.
Wanda.
What's its ring? And I ran. Why you sleep out of my...
We are an unusual couple.
Oh, I don't think that was ever in question.
We just don't know what to expect.
Howdy, neighbors.
Hey, buddy.
Wanda, what's up?
Who are you?
I don't know.
I think something's wrong here.
Wanda, can you read me? Who's doing this to you?
Are you here to help us?
This is our home.
Then let's fight for it.
Well, I think we handled that well.
Wandavision will be the very first Marvel Studios series on Disney+. Wanda and Vision are two of our most powerful and complex heroes, and this series is a perfect expansion point for MCU storytelling. Elizabeth Olsen is currently in London right now. She's shooting the film Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness with director Sam Raimi, star Benedict Cumberbatch, and the rest of the cast, including Benedict Wong, Rachel McAdams, and Chiwetel Ejiofor. And joining them is a new fan favorite character from the comics, America Chavez, played by Xochitl Gomez. This film hits theaters March 25th, 2022, and we're really pushing the boundaries of storytelling with this thrilling, scary, mind-bending adventure. Not only will Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness connect directly to the events of WandaVision, but it will also connect to the events of our new Spider-Man film coming to theaters December 2021.
Welcome back, everyone. It's Charlie. This is going to be my new WandaVision trailer. They dropped so many Marvel trailers today. Kevin Feige decided today was trailer day. There were also a bunch of Star Wars trailers too, so obviously I will do videos for everything. It'll probably take me a couple of days to get to them all, so be sure to subscribe to get everything. It is going to be crazy. Marvel is releasing 10 new Disney Plus series in the next couple of years. They announced what all of them are during their big Disney Plus Investor Day. There's also 10 separate Star Wars Disney Plus series coming as well. They even finally confirmed that they're doing the Fantastic Four movie, and it's Jon Watts, the director of the Spider-Man movies, that's going to be directing it. But just starting with the WandaVision footage, they confirmed that the episodes are dropping starting January 15th. They're releasing one episode per week, but they're going through the decades of different sitcoms of television, and you can kind of see what's going on with Scarlet Witch messing with reality and things glitching out and how things go completely off the rails by the end of the series when it turns into a big Avengers-level action story. They said they kind of ease into that, like it starts out with the funny sitcom stuff happening, then it sort of spins up into bigger MCU Avengers level storytelling. The whole premise being that Scarlet Witch just cannot deal with Vision being dead. Like you see her sitting there on the couch in her pajamas, just not looking super hot, and then she starts rearranging things. Everyone remembers House of M. Obviously there's a big House of M Easter egg during the trailer with the bottle of wine, Maison du Mépris, House of Contempt, or literally House of M as it says on the bottle. Elizabeth Olsen said that the series would be taking a hard look at Scarlet Witch's mental state. So they aren't doing the exact comic book storyline, but they're doing something very close to it. And as her mental health gets worse and worse and worse, and she just continues to spiral out of control, you see things start to glitch out, which is very similar to what happened during House of M. The reality started to crumble in on itself. But then you sort of see what's happening in the real world while all this is happening inside her TV-based reality. You see Randall Park's character from Ant-Man and the Wasp roll in with the Agents of S.W.O.R.D. and Darcy's character from the Thor movies. We finally get a better look at her in the footage, so apparently she's also working with S.W.O.R.D. right now too. The reason why the trailer is 4:3 aspect ratio is because for some of the decades of television was aired in 4:3 aspect ratio. So they're just being authentic to the period for each of the different parts of the trailer. They said that they try to reference as many different popular sitcoms from the different decades, but the ones they specifically shouted out from the 1950s were I Love Lucy, Scarlet Witch talked about going full Lucy at times, then in the 1960s they get into the Bewitched stuff, although you do see her go full Samantha Bewitched during different decades that weren't during the 1960s, like she's moving things around, cleaning the house using her telekinesis. So a lot of the tropes of the different realities bleed into the other decades. But then they get the 1960s, you have Bewitched, the Dick Van Dyke Show. That's where the joke about the beds comes from, because they were a married couple, but on national television you weren't allowed to show couples sleeping in the same bed while the show was being aired. Then in the 1970s, it looks like it goes kind of Brady Bunch. They also reference the Partridge Family. That's when she starts to get pregnant. She's eating the orange slices there. You also see shots of the crib with the butterfly mobile then turning into actual butterflies, as if it's her children turning the butterflies into real butterflies. Those are just her twins from the comics, Wiccan and Speed. So I guess if you're talking about deep-cut X-Men Easter eggs and mutants, you'd be talking about Wiccan doing something like this. The other twin, Speed, obviously has Quicksilver-like powers. When they get to the 1980s, it looks a little bit like Family Ties, maybe Married with Children. Obviously, they're referencing a bunch of different sitcoms, but they get to the 1990s, it's Full House. She is one of the Olsen girls. The Olsen twins are her older sisters. So if you didn't know that, Elizabeth Olsen is related to them. It's just that she's been much more active in movies recently than they have. Then Kevin Feige said that they also move into the modern era of sitcoms in the 2000s, and they do go full office with people talking to the camera like Jim and Pam and the other characters, and then filming things like a weird documentary. So there's a lot of Easter eggs for television itself in pop culture, in addition to all the Avengers and Marvel Phase 4 Easter eggs and X-Men stuff with mutants that are going on during the series too. So the series gets really meta with its Easter eggs. The woman that she's talking to here is Agatha Harkness, obviously a very big sorceress from the comics, just like Doctor Strange is a sorcerer. She's been kind of a mentor to Scarlet Witch in the comics, but she's also been a bit of an antagonist to her, so we'll see what they do with her during the series, because you do see a couple different scenes where the characters inside this reality, as they go through the decades, start to glitch out and don't know who they are or where they are or what's going on. That might be because Scarlet Witch moves into this house in the normal reality, but then she starts warping reality around them, and it starts to pull in these other people that live around her in this cul-de-sac. You also notice a lot of the design language too. There's a lot of patterns that look a lot like Vision's circuitry. So we're talking about being inside a television. It almost seems like during parts of this, she's reliving parts of Avengers Infinity War and Avengers Endgame. Like when she's staring at the Mind Stone here, that seems like she's manifesting her memory of having to kill Vision during Avengers Infinity War to prevent Thanos from getting the Mind Stone, even though he wound up getting it anyway because he had the Time Stone. We also finally get a full scene with Monica Rambeau. We saw her in the last trailer, but now we just get a much better look at her. And the funny thing about this is, if you've been a fan of hers in the comics for a long time, she was one of the original versions of Captain Marvel. The outfit in the period that this is taking place in during the 1960s, 1970s is authentic to when she debuted in the comics. So her character is wearing an outfit in this scene like she would have worn when she debuted in the comics. But like I said, because Scarlet Witch seems like she's messing with this reality, changing everything, she's also changing other people while this is happening, so a lot of their memories and personalities change while this is happening. So that might be why she doesn't know who she is when she rings the doorbell. But because later you see her get kicked out of the reality, it seems like Scarlet Witch's energy is around her, so it seems like Scarlet Witch herself is the one that punts her out. Because it sounds like Monica Rambeau, who is an adult in present day of the MCU, works for S.W.O.R.D. as well, and she's probably trying to investigate what's happening with Scarlet Witch and why things are so crazy in this little pocket of reality. That's when you see all the S.W.O.R.D. stuff spinning up, and it seems like Randall Park and the other characters are trying to help her, but she doesn't want to leave. Like, this is our reality, let's fight for it, as they say during the trailer, and then it turns into a big battle. Love all the comic book Easter eggs, like Vision walking around in his Halloween costume that's designed to look like his classic comic book costume. Same thing with Scarlet Witch. Based on the posters that they release for this each day, it seems like this Halloween stuff is happening during the 90s era of the TV show. They didn't say anything about Monica Rambeau getting her powers during this, like her photon powers or becoming a version of Captain Marvel or anything like that, but they did say after this she would star in Captain Marvel 2 along with the new Miss Marvel actress that they just cast, and they're shooting that series. They dropped trailers for pretty much all the upcoming Disney Plus series as well. So what I'll probably do is my next trailer video will probably be for Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then I'll do a Loki trailer, then I'll probably move on to the Star Wars trailers as well. But there'll be 6 episodes of WandaVision. She's going to crack reality in a really amazing way that's going to cross over with Doctor Strange 2, as Kevin Feige said during the panel. Right now, as I'm making this video, Elizabeth Olsen is over in Great Britain shooting Doctor Strange 2 with Benedict Cumberbatch and the other actors. They also just confirmed that America Chavez is going to be introduced during that. She's Miss America. She literally punches holes through different dimensions. So obviously you're doing a multiverse movie, that would be an appropriate place to introduce her. They didn't say exactly what she's going to be doing, but she's just another one of those younger characters that they're introducing that could show up in a Young Avengers crossover series down the road. And the really good news about Falcon and Winter Soldier is that they're releasing all the episodes in March. So there's so much stuff to talk about for all the Marvel Phase 4 movies. They confirmed that they're going to do a War Machine series called The Armor Wars right out of the comics. If you haven't read that, that's an actual comic book, Armor Wars. The Nick Fury Avengers spin-off series is going to be a Secret Invasion series with Talos the Skrull coming back, and it's going to be them going after actual Skrulls that have infiltrated American society. The Black Widow movie is still coming at the beginning of May, then right after that, in May, the Loki episodes are going to drop. That'll also be 6 episodes. Then they're going to do the What If episodes. That's the animated series based on the What If comic book. There'll be 10 episodes of that. Then they also confirmed that the Hawkeye episodes that they're filming right now with Jeremy Renner and Haley Steinfeld, Kate Bishop, will drop later in 2021, so like fall 2021. They said a bunch about Moon Knight and about the other series and some of the other upcoming movies, but I'll talk about that during those separate videos. So Falcon and Winter Soldier will be the next trailer, but I've also got my Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 7 video. That will probably be my next video, then I'll do the Falcon and Winter Soldier trailer. As long as you have alerts enabled for my channel, you should see all those videos. Don't worry, we'll get it all sorted out. There's just so much good news that they dropped today. They just decided to drop every last bit of footage that they have for everything, almost. Everyone let me know in the comments if you spotted any big Easter eggs during the WandaVision trailer that I didn't talk about, and let me know based on all the announcements what you're most hyped up about. While you wait for everything, everyone click here for my brand new Spider-Man 3 Dr. Octopus video and Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and click here for my brand new Mandalorian Season 2 Episode 6 video. Thank you so much for watching, everyone stay safe, I'll see you guys tonight.